This will be a test to see if this thing's on. I think we might be all right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the delay. Getting us in now with 2 minutes left in qualifying. Welcome to RaceOnOz PC League. Monday Night League here, Season 2 of 2022, Round 2. Here at the wonderful Paul Ricard. Let me just get some things set up for you. What's going on here? Hopefully we're going to have some good frame rates this evening. Grabbing YouTube chat up. We are at Paul Ricard. In the little break, I'll give you a circuit rundown. Good evening, Stu, Antrelli, Dale, and Anton. Good to see you all. Who have we got on track? Where are people? Some people on track. Let's go and find some people. What have we got? For the moment, we've got Philippa leading. She's decided to back it off into the pits on a 53 flat. Andy O'Hara's there 7/10 off, so showing the strength of the McLaren Philippa is. Hooley's up there as well, Ryan Houlihan. Didn't start last week, but obviously last week we had that great performance by Andy O'Hara to overtake with a one lap undercut and take the lead of the race. So expect Philippa, Andy, Ryan Houlihan, most of that top 7 to really fight it out this week. Big gaps in times tonight, as you can see. De Berardino up there in that BMW in 22nd place. That's a great performance for him. The AM-rated driver. 2 seconds off the pace. We might stay on board with Sean Madison here. As he comes up Mistral. So this fast sweeping right hand up. We'll watch for track limits. Seems to have stayed inside those little flags. Pushing on with it here. Just about on his split time. Couple of little server jumps there. Going through the last corner now, seeing if he can find maybe even a 10th to jump himself up into P4. Looks like he lost it on exit there out of the last corner. So he may need to just settle for 5th place. And he doesn't improve. Victor Chan was in close behind there. But a couple of drivers still coming to finish their laps. Scotland here had a bit of a moment through that last corner. I think the last of our lap times here will come in from the 9:20. And he's going to duck in a pit lane. So that will do us for qualifying. It's going to be Philippa Bakita on pole with a 53 flat, 7/10 faster than Andy O'Hara, our race winner from last week. Ryan Houlihan, first start. He comes in at P3. Bruno Gallo, Sean Madison, Mitch Weston, Chan, Hobbs, Kale, and Russell. That's the top 10 for overall. AM class, De Berardino. He's slotted himself in there nicely on a 55 flat. So he will start as the AM pole sitter. But we'll start down in 12th position there. And silver class, Kale there with a 54.6. So he will start on the pole. He's got 6/10 back to Hemi Bateman. So this should be a cracking race this evening. 100 minutes. So an hour and 40 minutes should be a ripping little race for us this evening. Just going to wait for the server to finish up and then we'll jump over to the next session. Whilst we're doing that, I'm going to try and get us a quick take you through the track here. Here we are here for the Paul Ricard track walk. Start finish line up into turn 1 and turn 2 through S de la Verriere, through La Hotel, and then on to this Mistral Straight. Basically the entire second sector is full of Mistral Straight, but of course that last sweeping corner, that right hander, that's sort of a double apex, tricky one to get right and then in left to run up to Curb de Sings, and then Beausset, Bendor and Virage du Pont is the last corner. So a nice little tricky one for the drivers here this evening. Cars are starting to grid up. We've got 2.5 minutes, so I might just check the live chat. Waiting for cars to move off the grid here. Why don't we have a look at the grid whilst we're waiting for that to tick over. Still got 1.5 minutes here, so I might just scroll through the grid and have a look at some liveries, some new ones. I haven't downloaded them, but hopefully there are some new ones. We'll make sure we get those for you next week. Hoping that this is in. Not. There we are, here's the grid all formed up. The cars are starting to drop down. We'll have them on their way very shortly. The leader's starting to pull away now. Ready for this formation lap. There we go, Philip is away. Press. There we go, here's the Mugen car in front of us here. Looking very splendid. Quite nice livery, in fact. Yeah. Vandelay here. Berardino, one of the in-game liveries. I like the colour balance. Let me know in chat if you have any preferences. Trying to get it so it will keep us on the one car, but anyway. So we can just scroll through. There we go. Here we go. This is what we want to see. Try and fly up Mistral here. Yes, we can. Oh. Over jumping there. Hopefully that's not on my end, and hopefully we get a nice seamless race here for you all to watch. Over jumps. Hopefully that's just on my end, so we get a nice seamless race here for you all to enjoy. Last car on the grid there. Just starting to think about forming double file here, which they are now out of this corner, out of this tricky left-hander. Sort of want to be in one gear and not the other. Keyboard difficulties here, everyone. So, we're about to get a start here. Round 2 of RaceOnOz PC League Monday nights, and we are agreeing 1 hour and 40 minutes of racing. Here we come. Filippo Bacchetta gets a great start, manages to hold that inside into turn 1. And he looks to sweep around the outside, just decides to tuck in behind. We'll just try and see if we get any action through here. The cones go flying. Looks like we've stayed mostly green. Back in the pack here with Man. Bit of jostling for position up front. Just waiting for the timing to update. Back down here in 25th position. 26th, I should say. A couple of Aston Martins going head to head. We've got 3 wide up the Mistral straight here. Up in front. He's very willing from 2 Mercedes and a Bentley. We've now got 4 wide going up the main straight. Gee whiz, this could be carnage. Oh, there's a bit of contact. We've got the Bentleys turned around. Another Aston's gone in as well. To wait and see who that is. A little bit of side-by-side action up in front. Not sure on if that was anyone's fault in particular. I'm not going to get replays for you this evening. Don't have the ability to just backtrack like Joe does, who's very apologetic he's not here. And we've got another bit of server mishappenings here. Because that was Faney and appears to be Dennis involved, Aaron Dennis. So 2 of our silver class drivers coming a cropper early. Vanderlei's already in the pits. I wonder if he had some damage on lap 1. But Filippo Vaqueta here still leads. Looks like it's mostly the same up in front. I think Chan might have dropped a few positions at the start. But that's given Hobbsy and Weston an invitation to just come up through the field a bit. Andy O'Hara here. Just falling off the back of Filippo ever so slightly. Kale here looking for a move on Mitch Weston. But there's a bit of stuff going on in behind here with Russell and Chan as well. Russell in that Monster Energy Porsche. Chan comes out on top. Russell will look for another move here, but decides to just tuck back in behind through this very tricky sort of trail breaking corner. Feels a bit misplaced for GT3 cars in my opinion, but we'll keep cracking on. Everyone's saying game audio is a bit low. Hopefully that is better for everyone. Just want to make sure that I'm not peeking it all on myself. Berardino here has done well to hold on to 11th place. You can see here some of those cars have maybe out of position, like Man down there in the Aston, the 311, sitting maybe a little bit lower than what he wanted. But certainly Kale and De Berardino sitting well above where their class ranking would put them. Hoping the service sorts itself out in terms of lag and whatnot in a short while. This will be a very intimate problem. There's a read here in the Jim's Racing Lamborghini, which I'm sure people would understand if I said I get the vibes of the Wall Racing Lamborghini from GT World Challenge with the red and white circles all over it. From the distance it looks somewhat similar, but certainly tell that it's not. It's like all little flower patterns and whatnot, some sort of recurring pattern there. He's got Paddy Oliver in behind him. Paddy Oliver, of course, last week was looking for a good result. A little bit of contact from what I can remember. So I'm sure he's got a custom livery on, given that that looks like an all-carbon car. So apologies for that. If I could put him on real time, I would. Don't think I can, so we'll have to make do tonight. I will make sure to either get some photos or maybe load them in and show you at the end. Robert Fluke did race last week. Currently running in 17th in the Lamborghini. Let's look some battles. There's a good battle here going on between a couple of Mercedes, one of them being Assetto, who just runs a little bit wide. Nando here will be looking for a move very soon, given that the wall seems to be just creeping up behind them a little bit more in that Audi. Oh, a little bit of contact from behind there. It spun around Simone Coco. Dean Kaki there was at fault. Might have just missed his braking point a little bit. Thought he had a little bit more room. But does redress, so I'm sure the post-race trusted drivers group of the stewards will look favourably on that. But we do have a bit of a tow here. Kaki is going to get swamped by Haycock in that Audi, heading up the right-hand side of Mistral. Some cars around at the start of Mistral too. 623 and appears to be number 5. So it's Atron and Mac. Let's go back and see what happened to those maybe. They've certainly fallen right off the back. Oh, there's another car around. That's oh, there's a couple of cars around here. Rice is involved. I think that might be Sassana maybe as well. Yeah, it is Sassana in the 40 Lamborghini. Also had a bit of a moment. So, Vanderlei didn't end up boxing for... didn't end up serving a mandatory pit stop, so I'm not sure if that was to try and get himself into some traffic and try and get some clean air or what. It would be very difficult to make it home from here on fuel. You'd be running very high on your mix. So I wouldn't imagine that anyone would be boxing strategically. Parsons has boxed, but not as a strategic measure. Mac here with a fair bit of damage, so he's going to be falling off the back of the group fairly quickly. That's a Tron after their moment. So Mac's going to pit, do some repairs. So expect to see him come in a little bit later on in this race, potentially at the end of his fuel load, and try and run sort of a quick 20-minute, 30-minute stint or so. Vanderlei coming still just up to the last corner here. Philip has pulled out a 2-second gap over Andy O'Hara, so Philip is making sure that RHE Esports McLaren is right where it needs to be. We'll keep pushing hard for some more time. But you'd expect some of these front runners to be planning to run long. Track temp is at 39 degrees though, so watch the tyres to start falling off quite dramatically, and to start seeing some drivers start thinking about doing that 2-stop strategy and going for an early pit stop, especially with 30-degree ambient as well. It's quite a warm day in the sim here. Gallo managed to pull it. So there's a fair gap between Hooley and Sean Madison here. Basically the entirety of that first little left-right chicane sequence. Yeah, so Sean's dropped off 4 seconds. There's a good gap back from Gallo to Weston here, who's a little bit of a chain of cars here with Chan and Kale running in 8th place, the silver driver. Doing quite well. Chan here. Yeah, it's a good slipstream. Looking for the move up the inside. Will be far enough alongside here to pull right across well before the apex. Just in there. Fans out of the field. Didn't grab much brake, especially in a rear engine car like the Porsche. It's just sort of coasting through here as well. Not trying to ask too much of the tyres. Trying to look after them as best he can. Currently behind here. Trying to capitalise. That's a good move there by Vic Chan. It's a different line through the second to last corner. Battle pack back here as well between Paul Russell, Hobbs, De Berardino and Frost. And the 666 Mercedes. saw Paul Russell there. Just move across. Just to try and break some of the draft in case Hobbs was getting any. But Hobbs didn't really gain a whole lot of time. Good move there by Ferradino. I heard him coming. So we could hear that too. Just sit on board here. Matt Frost whilst he goes up Mistral. Try and see if there's any other good battles on track. There's a good little battle I think in behind here with Reed and Oliver. Looks like Reed has managed to just pull away from that. Well, Reed was on the back of Martin. So I don't know where Martin's gone, whether he's fallen off the track or what. But I don't believe that he's in front of this group. So I think might have had a bit of a moment for Martin there. He's falling back through the pack. So we do have a couple of pitters. One being Ryan Houlihan there. A nice early stop for him. Martin there has just fallen in behind. So they're in the LES Porsche. Falling in behind these two. So might have had a little bit of a moment. I've just got swamped on the straight. Paddy Oliver here looking for a move. Reedy goes defensive. So we're going to stay side by side. Oh, gee whiz. Oh, it's resolved itself. I think we're okay. Move around the outside though from Paddy Oliver. Back in here, just coming into the back of this battle as well with Rob Fluke. Desman in the 311 Aston Martin. Battle here as well with Haggis in that lovely Williams inspired BMW. Mercedes on Mercedes with a draft. Doesn't look like he's going to get close enough. See all that Audi screaming in the background. Rice in the Nomad Racing Bentley. Sitting back in 22nd place. There's a leaderboard for you. Whilst we sit here, Nikita and O'Hara have managed to pull a fairly sizable gap over Madison, but don't forget that Houlihan was in that gap. He's now cleared his compulsory pit stop. And is, I assume, back out on track. is. I think he's off the back of his move here now. Oh no, he's still in the pits. What happened to Houlihan there? Is he... What's happened there? Let's go through the car so we can find... Houlihan is still in the pit, so I wonder if he's got some damage on that car. Might involve some close investigation. Doesn't look like there was any damage on it, to be honest. So not sure what's going on there with Ryan Houlihan. Still in the server, but gone a couple of laps down. So that'll be a story we'll just have to keep an eye on. Of course. All the rest of this race. Gonna be now falling, yeah, right down to the back of the field. So Houlihan, who was running up in 4th place, now is sitting in the pits and continues to fall away here on his lap count. Philippa there coming through to keep that gap at about 3.5 seconds. We'll try and keep an eye on it as best we can throughout the rest of the next little while. We do have yellows on the track somewhere for a car, not sure who it is. It might have been slow. So Mitch Western is just fallen off the back. Been overtaken by Cale as well. So Cale running up in 6th place at the moment. Silver class driver, good on him. Berardino here under pressure from Frost. This will be one of the good battles to keep our eyes on. See Mercedes in the rearview mirror there. Mercedes right up behind him now. Side by side up the Mistral Straight. Like Mercedes doesn't quite have the leg speed to pull completely away. They're still side by side, rear wheel to front wheel here. Bit of contact. Oh no! And Frost has been turned into the wall, and De Berardino has also crashed himself out. That is a massive shunt at the end of the Mistral Straight. Not sure who was at fault there, but a little bit, lots of damage on De Berardino's car. He will be diving straight for the pit lane to get that repaired. It's very marginal now to see whether he gets home on one stop, but Frost has certainly come up in a better spot. Not hugely though. Not sure where he's ended up. I think Frost might have come out worse for wear on this one. There he is, he's slowing. Just trying to stay well clear of everyone. Coming around the back way into through that corner. We're very lucky not to get a major penalty for that. Berardino is in the pits, and Frost, I would say, is going to do the same. Yeah. Lots of scrapes, lots of damage on the rear end, rear diffuser. Might have a little bit of tracking issue as well, given how hard that car hit the left-hand wall. Might be worth trying to get a replay off. See how we go. All right. What are we looking at? Frost this lap. Okie dokie. Let's see what happened here. They are side by side. Berardino here looks like he's going to try and tuck in. Oh, just trip over each other a little bit. So it looks as if that a lot of that will sit on to Berardino, but as commentator, I have no idea what the stewards are going to decide. What's his steering angle like inside the cockpit? Steering looks to be okay. Looks to be driving somewhat straight. Sure, we can get it out of gear or something because he's not. Well, he's certainly not putting the foot on the floor. A fair bit of damage to Berardino here too. Let's have a look on board with Berardino and see what happens. So very close. Oh, and they just trip over each other. It's very light contact. Berardino does keep his foot in, which I think might tip Mercedes into. So the first contact's there. Mercedes does go across, seems to be okay. He's already spinning, but I feel like that might be savable. So stewards will have a look at that one and will impose a penalty if they see fit. Ross does come out though in front of Mac. So Mac is how far up? How far back is Mac? Mac is still coming through the back end here. And Berardino has also come out in front. Hawley's back on the track though. So those who are watching for where Ryan Houlihan ends up, he's back on track. Nikita's just opened that gap up to 4.5 seconds now. And the gap from Madison back is at 10 seconds now from O'Hara to Madison. So a fairly decent gap now between our 2 leaders and Sean in 3rd place. And that Frog Stop Racing Honda. Very colourful livery. Bruno Gallo here tucked up nicely in behind Sean Madison. This battle pack here with Kale, Chan and Weston. And even a Tron who's out of it, but needs to just pull out the way. She does by sitting on the apex. Interesting call. Oh, and it's ended up in contact. It's ended up in some really disappointing contact for Vic Chan and for Weston. Chan has ended up in the fence. On the right-hand side, doesn't seem to be too much damage. Weston has continued on, but has fallen off. Kale there. Ethan Kale. So that's an unfortunate incident there for sure. Both of those drivers. Just a little bit of lap traffic. I think Weston thought he had a little bit more space to the right, and at the same time, Vic Chan came across him. Both went for the same bit of road. Chan was taking his racing line, and Mitch Weston was just trying to get around some lap traffic. So again, stewards will determine on how they see that one. Jump back in chat and see what everyone is talking about here. There is a 65-minute stint limit. Thank you, Lucas. Didn't realise that. For letting us go on that one. Many stops now, you assume we're a 2-stop strat. Does make sense. So we'll keep our eyes on for after with 1 hour and 5 minutes left to see some pit stops. Car around there was the 426 of Daniel Henry Bateman. Was in behind Fluke. He's now dropping back down to what would appear to be in front of Assetto. And not sure what happened there. Reed here in the Team Super Fun. Jim's Racing Lamborghini. Not sponsored, I would assume, by Jim's Racing. At the moment, Kaki is the M class leader, sitting in 23rd position. Let's get out of that. Yeah, Kaki there in 23rd position. Looking to make up some spots as well. Try and get a couple more of those silver class drivers in between for a bit of pride and a couple of extra points. Dennis there after some contact early on, running in 26th spot. Still on the lead lap. Running nicely there. James Mack had some contact early on as well. Currently now in 32nd position, 2 laps off the leaders. Parsons there. Certainly gaining on J Mac. Hopefully gaining fast enough to make an impact. All these drivers will start to pit again. We've got the 599 around now at the sort of switchback section of the first. Mark earlier there in the OES Bentley, who has just come out of pits, I believe. So I wonder if there's some contact there coming out of the pit lane. Certainly some contact on the right-hand side of the car. So he's looking to get moving. We're going to have to wait until the Lamborghini goes through and then should potentially have enough time. Although, yeah, I think going hard left is maybe the easiest way to go. Try and make sure you don't cut too far across the inside there, so you end up getting a penalty. There we go, moving now, has dropped back. Well, it'll be fine from J Mac. Then Kaki in the pits here as the class leader. Won't have to worry about covering off Hurley, but will need to stop again with 1 hour and 9 minutes left on the clock. Houlihan is back in the pits here. So he will still need to stop again as well with the stint timer limit. Ethan Cale sitting up in 5th place there. Very good for the silver driver. Has put himself 7 of the pro drivers in between him and the next of his class Patriots. This battle between Hobbs and Russell has been still nice and close. So good to see some 2x2 battles going on here still. Desman chasing down Robert Fluke here. The back end of the top end of the top 11 to 20 or mid 20, mid top 20. I'll be looking to try and gain something through the pit stops and maybe put themselves into the top 10 position and try and gain some very valuable points. Tanzio and Paddy Oliver, also a good battle here. So Chance pitted from in behind Weston there, around Weston. So he's going to drop back through the order. Expect him to pop out somewhere around. I think in and around. Oh, he's just going to pop out right there in and around Faney, just behind Masterson. See him there. Chan is still a bit slow. There he is, coming around to this braking zone here. Sort of the first, second gear corner. Let's go on board with Philippa for a lap here, and let's just enjoy Philippa lapping around Paul Ricard. Nice and obviously quick and very clean lap there from Philippa, as you would expect. The driver of this kind of lap. No real battles. This Madison and Gallo battle has been sitting in and around inside that 1 second mark for most of the race so far, so not sure if that's going to get much closer. Another battle down here for 17th with a good little battle pack here though, with Wall, with Hemi, Bateman, Safto and Reed all in and around that 1 second mark with each other. Desana in the lead of that as well. Nice little train forming here. Anyone who stops now will be within the stint timer. And we'll be able to make it home here on their driving stint time alone. Track is still sitting in and around that 39-degree mark, so I don't think there's much hope that we're going to see many changes to that order there. James Pierre-Reid does decide to box. He's one of our first drivers who are going to stop inside their pit timer. We've got Kale in the pits as well, up ahead, who I think is going to duck out well ahead. Yeah, not popping out. Maybe in front of Walls. Might get past him. Reed here, we should be expecting to see in there for a little while. Borrow the car. Just a second. Looking to try and pop out in and around Chan, but Chan is, I think, coming through the last corner now. So there goes Chan past him, I think. So Chan has got past. Reed here, pops out. That was Kaki who went in front of him. So he's in behind Kaki now, which is in about where he probably was. Paul Russell has managed to overtake Mitch Hobbs. We've got 5:03 who's managed to pick up a drive-through for track limits, which is Kaki. Just as we were saying that he's gotten past Reed, he now has to go through and serve a drive-through. Harley Scotland has lost it under brakes in the tricky section to end the first sector. There. Looks like he might have a livery on as well, which I haven't downloaded, but I will endeavour to correct that at some stage. And he's spun again. That's a very... I've never seen that before. Off track and the car looks see-through. Just a feature. Zana's managed to just pull away from Assetto here with Hemi Bateman and Haycock in behind. We'll try to find the toe here, stay in that draft. Hemi Bateman goes for a move. Bateman does get the move done well before the corner. I'm going to stay inside track limits there. He does, it would appear. So Assetto's lost another spot there. I wonder if that's something to do with Audi tyre life, or maybe it just was the slipstream down the back straight. Rainey, Masterson and Kale in a little battle here. 503 has cleared his drive through. Just popped him out in and around Scotland. A couple of spins. Just on board with him. So, oh, looks for a move. There's contact. Does end up with Wally Masterson heading a bit wide. Not sure if Carl really needs to put a move on there. Hopefully Wally hasn't just got enough fuel to go around again, because if he was looking to go to the pit lane, he got barged out of it. Well and truly barged out of that idea. Kale, though, I think might have just been better off just sitting him back in behind. Maybe trying to make the move with slipstream on the next time by. It's a very ambitious spot to stick the car. But drivers will be drivers. If gap equal car, for a lot of drivers, that's what they'll be thinking. Bale does get past Marston in the end there. Expect to see Wally to box in the next couple of laps or so. Anyone else in the pit lane yet? One of the cars we'd expect to see in the pits very shortly is Philippa in the 326 R8G McLaren. Very, very nice livery with the colour balance and the colours. The way that green looks. It comes through the light. Yeah, a bit more of a matte looking Rover Racing BMW. Madison is now 15.1 seconds off. Gallo has certainly closed that gap in the last couple of laps though. So wonder, this could be a good undercut battle here. Let's see if Andy does not box this time by. Ray Haggis in that Williams-inspired W there. So Sean is not going to pit yet. Certainly getting some good fuel life. Both of these cars here. Weston has managed to pull himself a good bit of a gap over Russell. Managed to hold that gap actually, and Russell and Hobbs are going at it again. Excuse me, long day. Dylan Martin. Yeah, Fluky. Sitting in a bit of a nothing spot there. Aaron Dennis, after that contact early on, has cleared a compulsory pit stop, but I think that was well before the stint timer, so expect to see him come in again. We're going to be looking at around the 35-minute mark of this race to see when we see the first of the penalties being handed out. That's the earliest we're going to see any penalties. They're already pitted on lap one. So maybe closer to the 30-minute mark of this race. Paddy Oliver there, man, Karki's well out of it. Paddy Oliver and man there, that's a nice little battle that's sort of stayed about the same. From what I can tell, Latanzio is just on the back of Karki there. We'll hope to catch back up through the pit stops. Susana has once again pulled a little bit of gap on himself over Hemi Bateman, Assetto and Haycock, which is this battle of three that we just saw going through picture right there. Kale is off the back of that. We've got, who's that around again? That would be Scotland around again. Also unfortunate. Does look like that needs livery put on it. But yeah, Hemi Bateman, Masafto and Haycock, that's been a nice willing battle the last couple of laps. Let's see that one at the 5:03 round. So that's Karki who's gone round with a lot of damage. So I wonder if he's lost that over the curb of the sweeping right-hander there. And has ended up into the tyre bundle. Lots of damage to the front of that car. He will certainly need to box. I'm expecting him to duck into the pit lane here. Chuck some new tyres on and go again. Back to Susana, Karki, Hemi Bateman, Sufto, Haycock. Kale just trying to gain on the cars in front. Here, of course, is the leading car who has stopped. We've got Russell in the pits now. So first of our top 10, the latest of our top 10 to stop. Let's wait and see where he pops out off the race. Looks like he's going to pop in, maybe, geez. Kale's gone through, so Paul Russell, I think, might going to pop out behind Chan, Faney. There's Masterson, but does pop out to a nice, clear, open gap. So I think the next car that they're looking for is going to be... Yeah, I think the next car is Masterson. Next car on the lead lap. That he might be racing is... maybe Haggis, I think. Let's see. So this battle here, Madison and Gallo, no, haven't flinched yet. We'll be expecting one of them to pit very shortly. Lost a couple of drivers since the start, which is unfortunate. One of those being Ryan Houlihan, who I can certainly not see anywhere on the track at the moment. Kale here, he's got that gap with Haycock down to 2.4. Last time across the line. Emmy Bateman certainly isn't pulling away from Assetto and Haycock. So Mann's now boxing. There's Mann. Expect him to probably pop out in and around just behind Paul Russell, I think. That's where we should expect to see him pop out. Sassana in as well. So he'll probably pop in behind Russell. Assetto is in as well. So Assetto is jumping onto the same strategy as Sassana. Hoping to get a little bit of the undercut benefit over Haycock, who stayed out. Masterson's in. So a lot of pit stop starting now. Sort of that halfway point of the race. I think that Philip has gone through. Andy O'Hara seems to be going through as well. Just want to see what's going to happen here between these two. Whether either of these two feel the need to stop now. Duck in. So it does look like, oh, Sean did juke. Sean is boxing. Give me the first of our, the highest placed car to stop. Wilson just tucks in behind there. Mitch Weston is in the pits as well. You can see the pink pig in the background there. That's a good stop for Masterson in the end, in terms of where he pops out. He's popped in, he's in behind Assetto, so that might be a benefit to him. Martin has also come in for his stop. I really want to see where drivers like Assetto do pop out of this group here. We'll find him eventually. There's Assetto going through, so he's popped out in front of Dennis, but some 13 seconds off the back of Reed, so there might have been a little bit of time lost there. Oliver still circulating. Oliver has, so Fluky's up to P5. Oliver's 5 seconds off the back of him. Looks like Sean has popped out in P9 in that number 60 Honda. Just going through the last sector here. We'll start seeing some good representation of where he's popped out. But yeah, P9 at the moment. So we're going to keep an eye on that gap with Gallo. Gallo is just going through the last corner now. Doesn't seem to be pitting, so looks to be going on with another lap. So I haven't seen O'Hara or Hobbs or Fluky stop yet. Paddy Oliver, Latanzio, Wall, Hemi Bateman, Haycock. Who else hasn't stopped yet? We've got Faney, who's just in the pits now. And Scotland, who's also in the pits. Who should be serving his mandatory pit stop now. So not many cars haven't stopped yet. About 12 cars or so. So I'll be expecting shortly, but with her gap of 10 seconds over Andy O'Hara, that's a fairly safe gap to just box anytime she wants. She'll pop out in behind, but hopefully not into much traffic. There's a couple of big gaps opening up now. So Oliver and Latanzio are in. Esky saying that Hawley's Monster Livery is one of the best out there. Certainly going to have a look at it shortly. But Paddy Oliver here. Latanzio is moving. So expect Pat to... There we go. Goes drop down, gets out again. There goes Man. So he's got to pop out about 18th spot. Does manage to hold the lead though. Man does have to run a little bit wide. He'll have the hot tyres though. He's going to be pushing now to try and get that move done on Padalova as quickly as he can. He might be a bit too far off though. Sanzio there. You can see him. He is just in behind. Cruising around at the moment. So we do have Bruno Gallo in the pits now. So this is the gap we've been waiting for. Madison is coming through the last corner as we speak. Going out to the last corner now, so let's try and get a visual representation for you. Both are on track, coming out now. There he is, there's Gallo. That's the gap we're looking for. There's Gallo there. There's Sean. There we go. So Sean has managed to make the most of those fresh tyres, put them to good use. Andy O'Hara's in the pits now. A couple of cars. Wall, Haycock, O'Hara, Hemi Bateman, Hobbs and Bakita. I think the last one's not whoever stopped yet. So let's see where... we've got Mitch Hobbs is now coming in. I think Sufto is going to overtake. I think the first car we're looking for really is Madison here to see where O'Hara pops out. But O'Hara had quite a lead and he's going to maintain that lead, already moving down the pit lane now. So I'll say that that position there is pretty much all wrapped up. I don't think we're going to see Hobbs jump Madison either. Hobbs is looking probably for around the Kale point. But Kale is nice and close in behind here. Kale is in riding behind Gallo. I think maybe Hobbs is looking around Chan or Western here. So 46 isn't moving yet either. So Bateman goes through. He's still stationary. Now moving. Russell goes through. There you go. Fellas in chat who are asking. Certainly does look the goods. I'll get another close-up for you in a second once we divulge through all the pit stops. Philippa's in from the lead. And he's just going up through the meat of the back straight now, but I think Philippa might be on her way out shortly. Which is quite an impressive stop, in fact. So Hobbs does pop in behind Russell. 5.5 seconds off. Still waiting for Hemi Bateman to stop. Would expect him in maybe in the next couple of minutes. That'll take us through an hour of racing. Gilbert's moving again now. Par 100 has picked up a drive-through. So that's Pat Oliver, who's picked up a drive-through for track limits. Next thing I'm going to say is going to be doing the Nutbush City limits. That was horrible. I apologise everyone in chat for that. That was an absolutely horrible remark. Yes, so Pat Oliver does have a track limits drive-through now. So that'll drop him well down the order. Kale running in P5 at the moment. That's a great performance, and he's right in behind Gallo. Gallo, he's just starting to pull away from him, though. Here we go, Hemi Bateman is in. Last of our drivers to stop. This car down to 50 kilometres an hour and into pit lane. Quite an early box for him. Nicely, doesn't have to readjust, turns the car off, and he is now going through his pit stop cycle. Over here was right in behind man, but it's just dropped off the back, so expecting to see Pat in to serve his drive through, and he is. Fire it in there as quick as he can. Try not to lose much time. We'll see where he pops out to serve his drive through. Let's see what happens here. So he's already dropped. He's going to drop in behind Hemi Bateman. We would have passed had everything been going the right way for him. So I think he might end up popping out. See Hemi Bateman go through there. He's in behind. He's in behind Wall, so he'll be looking. He's just in front of Assetto. So down in what will be 21st position. Pat Oliver. A battle on his hands now to try and grab some points in the top 20. Philippa here is in behind this as well, so going to put a lap on these cars now. Should be unfortunate for them, but you can't discount the raw speed of Philippa and this leading group of cars here who have just continued to pull away all throughout this race. Might start seeing some drive-through penalties for exceeding driver stint times shortly. If anyone is forgetting that they have a stint limit. So Carl's just falling off the back of Gallo there. Gallo is sort of holding that same distance back to Sean Madison, so I expect maybe there might be a battle there come later on in the race. There's Mitch Weston in the Pig Porsche. He's got a bit of a gap back to Chan. He also has a bit of a gap back to Paul Russell. Hobbs there, 4.6 seconds when they cross the first intermediate. Back to catch up to Russell. Does have a fairly decent gap back to Martin though, who's just going through. That's a massive gap that's opened up on track there. That's some 25 seconds from Hobbs back to Martin, so I think Martin might be a little bit of a bottleneck in the top 10 at the moment. Rice and Fluke are going to have a good battle here. Might stay on board. Luke goes for the outside. Thinks better of it. Does try and hang it there, but there's not much space out there. Make most of it. So we'll tuck him behind and we'll have to try again on Rice. Kale is pitting again though to avoid what I think would be a 65-minute stint limit. There isn't, they are really coming his way. Hale did stop nice and early in the race though, so with the exit that Fluky gets in comparison to Rice here, really has nowhere to go, just has to sit in behind. Racing line, show the nose a bit. Gestured that he wants to come up there. Make them all a little bit scared. Kale is still in the pit lane though. With the 599. Kale's just popped out. Where's it popped out? In front of the 176, who's not in it. In behind the 40, so in behind Sasana. This Fluky's chance here. Might be a bit too far back though, 5/10 back. We'll certainly gain some time. Fluky couldn't get none that time by, but it did close the gap to 2/10 with the slipstream. Gets an alright exit out of here. He's staying a lot more narrow than what he would like, with Rice also doing the same. So, trying to see if we can get the good drive out of the corner. Does look to be the closest battle that we've got on track at the moment. Unfortunately, everyone's starting to spread out and find their own bit of track. I keep this looking. I keep having a look through this though. Check if we can't make any adjustments. We've got Dennis and Faney who are having a nice close one. And so is Parsons and Mac actually. Let's have a look at that battle. Let's find where Parsons and Mac are. Parsons and Wilson. No, not quite. Oh no, the other Parsons. We're looking for? We're looking for 7. 7. Just going. Okay, so just coming through the last couple of corners here. So Parsons and Mac. Mac has managed to get past Parsons somehow. Got the driver ducking into the pit lane there. Oh, there's contact. That is, I think, have we got a car who's run out of fuel maybe? Is that Parsons who might have run out of fuel? I think it is. No, he's going again. So I'm not sure what happened there with Parsons staying hard right. And with driver ducking into it was Chan ducking into the pit lane. So I'm not sure what's happened there that's resulted in Chan and Paul Russell coming together. That is certainly worth watching a replay of. Let's wait for it to load, chat, and then we'll get you that information as soon as we can. We are here, so I'm not sure what's going on here with. Oh no, I'm watching that not in. What's going on here, chat? I've been watching stuff in Midway. So let's break it down. Let's find where this all happened. So what are we looking at here? So Parsons and Mack are going side by side up the main straight. Sorry, there's no sound. I'm not sure what's happened with the replay there. See, Parsons does let Mack through. Might not be as confident as he'd like through that corner. And then Parsons is cruising around it. Oh, quick enough. Still making minimum speed. Do know that 4 of Chaney's coming through. What happens here? So Parsons, does he have an engine issue, or is he just staying right because he's not sure what's going on with his car? Has he got some pedal issues or something? I wonder if he's got some pedal issues. But then what happens here with... Let's go to Paul Russell. Let's go to the onboard. Let's see what happens here. So Paul Russell is sitting in behind. Does seem to get an alright run. And then doesn't expect Chan to be boxing. Unfortunately, any contact there, I would have to put on Paul Russell. I think you've got plenty of space to the right-hand side to make that move to get around that car. I know he probably wants to sit in the slipstream, but if a car's sitting hard right for pit lane, I think you have to expect them to be pitting. If they're sitting inside the line, you can't just cruise up behind and unfortunately make contact like that. So Vic drops down into 20th place here, in behind Assetto after he had to pit, and I'm expecting to see Madison Gallo down to 1 second now. So here's a good little battle coming up. Russell is still in behind Hobbs. We'll have a fair bit of damage though. So he's going to sit back. So Rice has got a drive through there. I didn't quite see what that was for. I'm not sure if that drive through was for stint timer, which could very well be. If Adrian Rice's is for track limits, there's quite a few drive-throughs now, which I have obviously missed, unfortunately. Parsons has got one. So Chan's got one for track limits. I think Parsons might have got one as well. That. Here's 4 track limits. So 4's cleared here, right in the pits. I'm expecting Parsons to come in this lap as well to clear his drive through. Let's go to that battle we saw between Madison and Gallo, which is down to 6/10. Find it. Here we go. Madison still ahead, coming up to some lap traffic. Up on board with Gallo here. Madison looking to get past the Bentley. Gallo here looking to get the slipstream off that Bentley. 65 off Dennis. Trying to get the benefit to catch up to Sean. He's closing, still closing. They'll have to tuck him behind. Madison's car looks a little bit nicer through there, but might not be pushing him as hard. Trying to look after some tyres that he's got on the left. Agus in the pits there from 13. So that might be out of position. Driver tyre this time. Trying to get himself onto some nice fresh boots and get to the end. Of course, that's probably a smarter way to do it, is to even out your tyre or your tyre stints, especially given the track temperature. Most of any advantage you can. On board here with Gallo for a lap. Let's see just how this car is going. Yeah, maybe he can get a move done. I'm not sure. Close there, but just on board. Quite get a move done there. Will be a little bit closer this time by. It's just sitting around that 5/10 mark. Seems to be a bit closer. Sean certainly taking a much tighter line. Might have the strengths of the Honda out of there. But Gallo with the slipstream again. Just how well Gallo carries speed through there. 176 conservatives drive through. That's one of the Larson's brothers. Battle between Moore and Sana. She's 40. Tanzio and Man's just falling off the back of that battle. Towards Sana. Kind of the same. Can't see any other closer battles other than the Madison and Gallo battle. We'll go through the classes for you whilst we're sitting here. So obviously Philippa leading overall there with an undefined gap back to O'Hara. Should get an update in a second. Seems to be, yeah, O'Hara's in behind Pierre Reid here, so that's at 12 seconds. Madison and Gallo obviously is nice and close. Latanzio and Mann, they're battling it out for 10th position. That was a great result for the silver class driver to finish off in P10 if you can hold on to that position. And for our AM drivers, they're all down the back there. 26th through to 32nd out of our runners. Kaki leading by 5.3 seconds over J-Mac. Did stop early, so I'm sure if he's doing the two-stop strategy, he's going to have to hope that works to his advantage. I think he might be doing a two-stop anyway, so we'll wait and see how that battle plays out. But we're going to go back to Madison and Gallo here, because that gap has tightened even more now. If I can find them. Scotland just getting out of the way there. Where are we? Here we go. So Gallo has managed to get past Sean to take P3 overall and outright in this race so far. We're going to go find a replay of that. As long as the replay is in proper speed. Oh. Oh dear. We have been watching that in full speed the whole time. Jeez, just great. Perfect. And Gallo getting past Sean. They are coming up through this back segment. Two times until we find where they are. So I wonder if it was done in the slipstream up Mistral. That looks to be close enough. Here we are here, up Mistral. Looks to be close, gaining the whole time. Here we go, so it's a move down into here. So, puts the car there. Sean has to give him some space. Doesn't know how much he can tighten. Gallo does. Oh, and Sean just runs wide out of that corner. You can see Sean here. So Gallo's there. Sean knows that. Sean just has to come out of it a bit. Just trying to hold some mid-corner speed. Get some more mid-corner speed up and then just loses it on the dirty side of the road and has to give up that position. So that'll give Gallo the lead again there. With the replay whilst we're running it in that speed. So Sean here is now just going to try and sit on the back. Of course, Sean had a rough time of it last week at Donington. We're hoping to get some good polar points here, so it might just be thinking discretion is a better part of valor for the rest of this race and for the rest of the season. But Philippa and O'Hara, they keep leading away by a considerable margin. Hauling some points for Sean, I think, is the play. Man and Latanzio have gotten close. That's down to 3/10 as well. Last intermediate that they crossed together. Let's try and find it if we can. Man and Latanzio.
Coming through some of these sweeping corners.
Third sector. Latanzio does seem to get a really nice exit out of there. Apologies for the Snapchat, you heard that. Tanzio did gain on that straight there, relative to Man, but just isn't able to quite find a way through. Haycock and Hemi Bateman are having a nice little battle as well. We saw them battling earlier on in the race, and they're right in behind it. Haycock and Hemi Bateman here. Haycock still in behind a 426 Audi. Very equal cars, two drivers who have been decidedly quick together, it should be said. Haycock, his best is a 57.1, his late was a 58.1, now 58.2. Hemi Bateman's best is a 56.4, last is a 56.8. So Hemi Bateman is certainly finding a lick of speed here. I wonder if maybe I've missed that and Haycock has given up position to Hemi Bateman there, given the gap they've opened up already. The move was done early on up straight. We've got Reed and Sasana here, so that battle is also tightened up nicely. Set two here. Ranger, Mistral straight. Mistral straight, which is not quite as flat as what a runway would be. That's what the runway at the Castellet Airport is. Here we go. Reed's going to look up the inside of Sasana. Sasana's not going to give you much room. Reed is going to hang it in there. Good side-by-side racing between these two. Reed does get ahead. Sasana was maybe just going to try and look for that undercut or that switch back underneath. But Reed does get past Sasana there. Reed taking 13th place away from the silver class driver. Sasana, though, is sitting in third place in class, although he's going to hang it around the outside here as well. This is ballsy. This is a ballsy move. Two Lamborghinis going side by side with the second and last corner. Sasana will get that position back. Good racing, fellas. It's not over yet, though. Reed might have got a better exit out of the last corner. Might have to sit in behind. Don't know. Is he going to dive across to the right? Surely not. No, they're going to go side by side through turn one. Sasana will hold on. Doesn't have to throw it in there too much. to make that position count. So he's now going to take back that 13th position. Good to see some battles tightening up though. A couple now that are in a good position. Kale and Haycock is nice and close as well. Saw Henry Bateman go wide behind. Get back to that battle in behind there. Henry Bateman, two passes just pulling out the way. Kale and Haycock. And Kale might have got past Haycock in all of that. Kale, of course, running in the inside as high as P5 throughout the race a little bit earlier on. Paddy Oliver's had to box again. So not sure if that's track limits or whether that's tyres or fuel or something, but he was one of the later ones to box. So I wouldn't expect it would be fuel based, but he has dropped right outside. Well back now. 24th position. It's probably going to be, that's as far back as it's going to go. I think Scotland has had a bit of a rough night of it himself, but all credit to him, he's pushing on. 59.8's nothing to be too ashamed about in a race trim. 10 minutes to go in this one. He's giving it a red hot go, which is good to see. Martin pulling up in behind, and as well. It's got one there. Fluky here, running in P9. So just running his own little race at the moment, I think. Pips is behind him. So Philippa's going to lap, I would guess, by the end of this race, he's going to have lapped all the way up to 9th place. The 8 drivers on the lead lap. Goes to show pace and consistency of Philippa throughout this race. So far, 46 laps have been completed. Got just under 9.5 minutes to go now. Tanzio there has got O'Hara for company. That gap is between O'Hara and Philippa is up now to that to just shy of 13 seconds. Tanzio just jumps out the way of O'Hara. Got Mann and Wall who are still going at it. Well, this is a little bit closer. Wall runs a little bit wide there. Just try and tuck it back in behind and try and see if he can't make another go of it next time by. We'll come back to that battle as we go through the rest of the field. Reed, Henry Bateman, Sassana has... Where's Sassana gone? Sassana's had a spin. So I wonder if that might have been some contact with Haycock there. Because Haycock's fallen just off the back of it too, so... Might go and see if we can get the replay of that in just a second. Madison, of course we did see Gal and Madison have a little bit of a good battle. They were nice and close throughout the early parts of this race, and then after the pit stops, Gallo was on a charge chasing down Madison and managed to get him through the sweeper at Bruxelles, I think. That's the corner name. Masafto, Chan, not really much going on there. Masterson sitting in 20th spot. Weston there, Pink Pig, sort of sitting there or thereabouts and just cruising around at the moment. Doesn't really have anyone around him that he's battling. Dennis, unfortunate incident, lap 1, sitting in 22nd position. Chase trying to chase down Neil Faney in front. Faney, I'm going with Faney. Please DM me if I've got it wrong. I'm bad with names sometimes. Paddy Oliver's still in the pit, so I wonder if that might have been a wheel disconnect or something like that. Hobbs cruising around in 6th place. Another quiet night for Hobbsy. Just making the most of a good bit of Monday night running. Karki and J-Mac here. J-Mac's been on a charge back up. Best of a 57.8. plays Dan Karki's 57.8 and has managed to find almost 1.8 seconds on that last lap to close this battle for class lead. Right back to within a second. So a good battle here that we'll have to keep an eye on. Reed and Hemi Bateman are still going at it as well. Reed up in 13th place. Hemi Bateman chasing him down very quickly. Latanzio, Wall and Mann, they're having another battle as well. So battles are starting to tighten up as we come towards the end of this race. 6 minutes and 10 seconds remaining now. Try and see if we can find that battle again. So, where are we? Latanzio. There you are. Latanzio, Wall, Mann. He's in there. This battle for 10th place. There's a battle in there as well for outright. For class lead in the silver class. Latanzio's currently got that one in his hands. Wall's going to have to use that rumoured Audi boost of power. The Evo 2 R8 released this year to Real Life Racing. Latanzio goes defensive. Wall gets a great run. Really good run. Latanzio decides to just tuck back in behind, and Wall takes the lead in silver class. Wall does one ride though. Latanzio gestures that he's going to put the nose up there. Wall will have to be careful though about those runs wide with the fast right-hander, and Latanzio just manages to sweep through and take that position back. Mann just falling off the back of this one though. There's Mann will be hoping to catch back up. Wall gets a good run out of here. Should just decide to just tuck back in behind and go for a move next time by. He's being able to be kept back in this though. A little bit further back to Hemi Bateman, who's got past Reed. And Kale is riding behind this one as well. Haycock's not too far behind. So this is a good little battle here for what is P13 overall. And Hemi Bateman has put a car in between himself and Ethan Kale there for overall for class P3. Yellow here is back under attack from Sean Madison. So this is the battle we're going to watch for now. 3.5 minutes to go. Keep an eye on any other little battles. Haggis and Dennis is really nice and close last intermediate. Latanzio and Wall also. But Mann has managed to get past all of them. So we missed that one in all of this kerfuffle that we've had going on with other positions. And Mann has managed to jump Latanzio and Wall. So Mann has put himself to give us a pro 1 through 10. Latanzio isn't giving up though. Latanzio and Wall are going at it as well. Just going through this fast sweeping right-hander. Got some lap traffic in front that we'll have to deal with. Real 11 seems to be still in front. On the map there, Madison is gaining. Madison does gesture. He's going to go for a move around the outside. We're going to have 2 laps remaining. Philippa's just going through the first corner, so we are going to have 2 laps remaining. I don't think she can give up 13 seconds and still hold on. It's not 1 lap and 13 seconds left in this race, so Sean will have 2 more opportunities to make this stick. Good exit. The left-handed sweeper there. Going around the right-handed out. Straighten the car up nicely and go again. Russell and Martin, they're getting close as well in for 7th place. Battle for overall lead here. For the overall P3, I should say, is tight. But the battle for out for overall silver class win is also tight, and even silver P3. Or for 13th place, I should say. Yeah, great race, Fernando. Looking for... Oh, geez, he's looking for a top 10 here. Let's try and find this battle nice and quickly, if we can. But J-Max picking up a drive-through in the time that he's taken to overtake Kaki. And he might have to serve it, you know.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now.
Leader's on the final lap now. He's probably going to have to serve it, otherwise he's going to get a drive-through penalty added to his race time. And Kaki's going to get past him. This is for outright... for AM win. Let's go back to the battle that we're looking for here between Latanzio, Man. So Latanzio's managed to get past Man. Latanzio now running Nando in 10th place overall for the silver class driver. Wall was looking for a move there on Man. This is going to be the battle that we want to see towards the end of this race. Just going to keep my eye on the 51 and the 14 battle that's going on. So the 14 and 60 battle. It's down to 5/10, so they've got one more lap to do it as well. And Ethan, oh, and Harley's gone around again. Why is it every time I jump on board with him, he's facing the wrong direction? Reed and Kale here going at it. Reed's run a little bit deep. He's going to invite Kale for a run up the inside. Let's go back to that battle with... I think Man is maybe... Nando might hold on for this year. For that position. I think Gallo might hold on to his position as well, pending any lap traffic. Wall does get past Man. Wall is going to look around the outside here. Back to our leader. Just coming up across the finish line now, but Bilbo Bakita has led every single lap of this race, and he's going to take home the checkered flag to win
Has finished the race.
race 2 of season 2 2022, coming home by a considerable margin over the 51 of Andy O'Hara, who crosses 14 seconds off the back but takes home P2. This is going to be an incredible battle for the rest of the season. We'll go back to the battle here. Tanzio will take home P10 and class win overall. Fernando. Peter Wall will take home second in class. And it should be Kale who comes home in third place in silver. Gallo and Madison are still going at it. Madison has managed to make a move at the death to take P3 in this race. What an absolute ripper of a race between these two. We're going to find where that move was in just a second. Parsons giving us his best donut. Sasana home in 18th. Sufto 19th. Weston does come home in P5 in the Pink Pig. And just waiting for the last couple of cars across the line. Waiting for Kaki and Hurley. Here we go. Battle for AM class win. J-Mac does pick up a 30-second penalty for not serving his drive-through, so might be okay though in holding on to P3 in class, given how far back Parsons was. And it looks like it's going to be Kaki who will bring home the class win for the AM class. And we'll finish this off tonight with those positions. I'm just going to try and jump straight back to this replay to see this overtake for last place. Sorry, for third place on the podium. As quickly as we can. Here we go. Let's go to... Not hard. Madison here. Let's see where that move was done. So maybe a little bit of lack of traffic here to play as well. Madison there. Let's go to here. Here we go. So let's have a look on board. Look from above, sorry. Here we go. So Madison is right up in behind. Managed to get a good slipstream down the Mistral. Trying to get the best exit out of here possible. Doesn't quite get the same exit as what Gallo did. Does throw it in there under brakes. Trying to use all of that performance. So he does get caught up with the one of the Nissans. Yeah. Oh, and just has nowhere to go. Oh, and there's contact with the AM driver. There's nothing you can do about that. And Sean just goes around the outside and takes P3. So unfortunate for Gallo there with some lap traffic. And he is undoubtedly disappointed in himself. But sometimes you just can't ignore what happens. Some cars on track. So another cracking race here. Let's have a look at the results of the race. As I said before, 52 laps completed. 6 cars finished, all 52 of them. Philippa Vakita comes home 14 seconds over Andy O'Hara. There was another 28 seconds, 28.5 seconds back to Sean Madison, who took home P3 with a move at the last corner. Gallo, P4, Weston, Hobbs, Martin, Russell, Fluke, and Nando brings home P10 and is the silver class winner. Wall and Kale round out the top.
Green light. Go, go, go.
The server has reset on me. It's absolutely perfect. But that'll do us this evening. I did see that Kaki did manage to hold on to a class win for the AM class over Hurley. So thank you very much, chat, for your engagement this evening. It's been a pleasure as always. I've been Thomas Riley. Joe should be back next week for regular programming. But thank you very much for your enjoyment this evening. And we will see you next time. I didn't mean to put this one on. I'm sorry. Let me put the video in. Here we go. Where are we? This one. This one. Thank you very much, chat. Enjoy. See you next time.